Hi folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome today to View in Stenhousemuir where we have at long last got some sunshine. So today's match is the William Hill League One game between Stenhousemuir and Kelty Hearts. Teams are out, you can probably just see them behind me going through their pre-match warm-ups. Tough game in prospect today for Kelty. Stenhousemuir sitting second in the league, going very well, unbeaten in 2026, one of the real form teams in the league. So a tough game in prospect. Kelty themselves going okay, just need to, as I've said a number of times, try to turn some of those draws into wins. So stay tuned, the game will be kicking off just shortly. We've got some pre-match build-up as usual, and then we will be jumping into all the action once the game kicks off. So here we are then, another aerial view of the stadium here at View. If I just pan round a little bit to the north, you can just about make out the Ochil Hills that gives the stadium its name. For anybody who didn't pay attention in geography class, we've just crossed over the Kincardine Bridge from Fife into the very outskirts of Falkirk. I'm not quite sure if you can make out just in the distance there the River Forth, and way down in that far distance are the Forth Bridges. One of the things I really like about these aerial shots is you can see how closely embedded within the community the stadiums are. This is not some out of the way football stadium on the edge of town in some sort of retail park. You can see it's right in the middle of the community. It's right on people's doorstep, and I always think that helps to build a link between the football club and the fans. It's, you know, if you're walking past every day, going to school or going to work or just walking the dog, and your football club is on your way and you're passing it every day, then you can't help but feel a lot closer to the club. Quick look at the league tables, and it probably highlights the scale of the task at hand for Kelty today. Stenhousemuir sitting there in second spot, just 3 points off the lead, in really good form. Alloa, you'll see there in third, have just dropped off a little bit, so I think it's now down to a two-horse race just between Inverness and Stenhousemuir. Kelty at the other end of the table, still foot of the table, 5 points adrift. So yeah, still got a bit of an uphill task if they're going to save themselves from relegation. So one thing just worth noting is the two teams in 8th and 9th, Cove and Hamilton, they meet each other up in Aberdeen today at the same time as this game. So I'm sure this is one of the games that the Kelty fans will be keeping a close eye on for that result. Obviously has quite a bit of an impact on Kelty's season as a whole. So a quick look at the head-to-head between these two sides. 11 meetings over the years. Kelty started off really well, won the first 5 of those. But since the promotion to League One, then the pendulum has swung a little bit back in Stenhousemuir's favour. In the last 6 matches, they are unbeaten in those games. 3 wins and 3 draws over that period of time. Just looking at some of the individual results, a couple of highlights in there that really jump out. There's this one here that you see back in March of 2022, which was effectively the league decider, a 1-0 win over at Kelty, almost exactly 4 years ago today, that clinched the league for them and gave them promotion into League One. The other one I think is relevant is this one here, the 2-2 draw here back in November, Kelty's last visit to the ground here. They were 2-0 up, having played probably the best 75 minutes of their season. They were looking really good for the win. Goals from Craig Johnson and Rico Diak put them in a really good spot. But the fight back from Stenhousemuir came really late. 2 goals in the last 6 minutes to earn a draw. I'm not sure that has an awful lot of bearing on today's match, but one thing I would like to think it does is give Kelty the confidence that they can compete with the teams at the top end of this league. It's just maintaining that consistency and focus throughout the 90 minutes. So the game will be starting very, very shortly, and we will be jumping into the action as soon as the game gets underway. So just a quick bit of team news. I've just been handed a team sheet. Looks like very close to the team that finished the game for Kelty last weekend. So Kelty will line up with Kyle Gourley in goal. There'll be a back four of Sam Fisher, Dylan Corr, Alistair Davidson and Jack Bryden. The midfield will be Craig Clay, Alex Ferguson, Innes Murray, Ross Cunningham, James Graham, and the lone striker up top again will be Lewis Moore. So we've got an early goal here. It's come for Stenhousemuir for the home side on 7th minute. Far too easy, to be honest. Just a ball played to the back post. I think it was Ross Taylor. He had all the time in the world. He was able to bring the ball down. He had his back to goal, swivel on the ball and fire the ball high into the net. Poor defending again from Kelty. He just didn't close him down. He had far too much space. You can't give a player that sort of space in the box and not expect to be punished. Kind of similar to what we've seen in large spells of the season for Kelty, losing that early goal and leaving themselves with a mountain to climb right for the very off. So I'll make that 8 minutes played on my watch, and it's Stenhousemuir 1, Kelty Hearts 0. Hey guys, just a quick update here. Played about 20 minutes this first half. Kelty really struggling to get any sort of foothold in the game at all so far. That early goal's really knocked the stuffing out of them. I think they're constantly on the back foot at the moment. Stenhousemuir obviously full of confidence. Jack Bryden was walking a wee bit of tightrope a few minutes after the goal. Just a bit of wrestling in the box. I think he just about stayed the right side of the line, but it did certainly look as if he'd wrestled his man to the ground. I don't know whether the referee never saw it or didn't see anything in it, but he never gave anything. It was a wee bit of a worrying moment for Kelty. Just a minute or two ago, there was a first booking of the game for Sam Fisher for simulation. He picked up the ball wide on the Kelty right. He'd backed himself into a wee bit of a corner, did really well to get out of it. He was heading for the box, and yeah, there was definitely a bit of contact, and he went down. The referee took a wee second to think about it and booked Sam Fisher. So 20 minutes on the clock on my watch, and it's still Stenhousemuir 1, Kelty Hearts 0. Hi folks, so half time here at Ochilview, and the half time score is Stenhousemuir 1, Kelty Hearts 0. Kelty have been really poor in that first half. I'm not sure I could find any other way of saying it. They've been a bit slack and just looking like they're, I don't know, off the pace. A little bit lackadaisical, if you like. I think it started badly, obviously, with the... so I'm just going to try and straighten this camera up a little bit. Sorry about that. Yeah, it started badly, obviously, with losing that goal very early in the first half, 7 minutes, I think. And like I said at the time, it was just a fairly straightforward ball into the box from the left-hand side, and it made its way to the back post. I think it was Ross Taylor. He just seemed to have an edge to be able to bring the ball down, turn on it, and fire it into the roof of the net. Quite a good goal from his perspective. I'm quite sure he'll be delighted. But defensively, from Kelty, it just felt like they were still sleeping, and that seems to have been the the pattern of the game for Kelty, I think, in this first half, they've just felt a little bit off it. I hate to sound negative, but they almost have the look of a team who feel resigned that they're not going to be able to do anything in this relegation fight, and that's to me the wrong attitude to have. If you are trying to get yourself out of trouble, you need to really be able to dig deep and react and accept that sometimes you are going to have setbacks and just be able to deal with them. Sorry, this camera's just a wee bit straight. Sorry there. Accept the setbacks and be able to deal with them and bounce back, and that's certainly Kelty have not done that at all in this first half. And just by contrast, just right at the end of the first half there, Ross Cunningham did have a bit of a chance for Kelty. Just a snapshot, the ball came to him and he tried his luck. Unfortunately, he hit it straight at the keeper, but the Stenhousemuir skipper Gregor Buchanan felt that one of his teammates had kind of fallen asleep a wee bit to create that chance, and he gave him an absolute roasting. Both barrels left him in no uncertain terms how he felt his performance was letting the side down. And I'm just not seeing that from anybody in a Kelty jersey at all. They don't seem to be digging each other out and expecting and demanding the highest standards from each other. And to me, that's the thing that I find a little bit frustrating, that they're not doing that, because to me that's what the best teams do. They demand the highest standards from those around them, and they let them know when they're dipping below those standards. And like I say, that's just not happening either from the Kelty captain or from anybody else in the Kelty side. You don't hear that from a lot of the Kelty players, that demand for excellence from their teammates. So, sounding very negative in this first half, I do apologise for that. We can only hope that they're saying similar things in the dressing room to each other, and that has the desired effect, and they come out in the second half and show a little bit more determination and a little bit more desire. I think is what I would like to see from the second half. But half time here at Ochilview, and it's Stenhousemuir 1, Kelty Hearts 0. Just a quick match update. There's the second goal of the game, came for Stenhousemuir, 38th minute of the second half, so about 6 minutes plus stoppage time left to go. Again, it was just Kelty lost the ball in the middle of the park. It was a nice wee turn, and from that point onwards they always looked like they were second best. Ball came into the box, two defenders just standing looking at each other, waiting for the other one to deal with it, and it was Matty Aitken who turned and finished quite comfortably. No more than Kelty deserved, to be honest. They've been second best for long spells of this game. So a couple of minutes left, or 5 minutes-ish left to go, and the score here at Ochilview is Stenhousemuir 2, Kelty Hearts 0. Hi folks, so we've just finished here at Ochilview. Full-time score is Stenhousemuir 2, Kelty Hearts 0. Felt Kelty were pretty poor all round today, to be honest. They got off to the worst possible start with that goal conceded just down here in the 7th minute. They looked shell-shocked. I think they didn't look like they were ever going to recover from that goal. I think they took an awful long time even just to start playing their way into the game and maybe start creating a few chances after that. But even at that, when they did get into scoring positions or into somewhere that looked like a decent chance, they still didn't look like they had the belief or the confidence to try and take that chance on, and more often than not they were looking to pass the ball rather than have a shot, which all to me feels like it just feels like the reality is probably dawning on them that they are probably favourites now to go down. I really don't know what the other scores were. I know Hamilton, I believe, were leading at half time. So if that's how that panned out, then obviously that leaves us with a big gap to try and close with the remaining games still to go. So I don't know. I'll certainly check out all the scores and then I'll do my usual Sunday morning wrap up and we'll call it a day there. So full time here at Oakview. It's finished Stenhousemuir 2, Kelty Hearts 0. So here we are just with the usual Sunday morning wrap up, looking back at yesterday's game. You probably gathered from my reaction yesterday that I was a little bit disappointed. Yes, with the result, but more so with the performance. The lack of fight, the lack of desire, I think was the thing that alarmed me most from the side. The loss of the early goal was clearly a big blow for them, but these things happen in games and you have to get over it. And I think the way the team reacted probably says more about how this Kelty team is right at this point in time. They felt a little bit flat. They didn't really show enough energy and desire, I don't think, to get themselves back into the game. I did look over towards the bench a couple of times and I felt that even the reaction from the bench was a little bit muted at times. And I think that obviously, that reaction or that lack of reaction can sometimes flow through onto the pitch as well. So yeah, all in all, a bad day at the office for Kelty. They need to be able to put this behind them because there are big games coming. That's us into the last 6 games now, what most people would regard as the run-in. And I still think, looking at the fixtures here, you'll see them there. Yeah, there are some difficult games, but it's not mission impossible. There are some winnable games in there. I think if I look back, even just the last 3 or 4 seasons, Kelty have beaten every one of those sides over that period of time. So, yeah, like I say, not mission impossible, but they do need a reaction from yesterday's game, and they do need to show some fight and desire. It's quite aggressive language, I know, but that's where you are. You're fighting for your life. You are scrapping to survive in this division. Nobody's going to hand you something. Nobody's here just to make your life easy. You want to survive in this division, you have to go and grab it. Next week will be a really key game, I feel, away at Hamilton. Hamilton, obviously, the side immediately above Kelty in the league table. They drew yesterday, so what that means is, in fact, I think every other game in League One finished a draw apart from Kelty's defeat. So really what that means is maybe a little bit of damage limitation in terms of the gap. It goes back out now to 6 points. Like I say, not insurmountable, but with 18 points left to play for, the simple fact is Kelty need to win at least 2 of those last 6 games. So I think that's probably about all from me for today's video. I'm going to wrap it up there. As usual, I'd like to take a moment just to thank everybody who's taken the time out to watch the video today. I'll leave some links below, one to the photo gallery from the Stenhousemuir match, and the others to some of the previous videos there. If you haven't seen any of the earlier ones, then please go back and check them out. And if you like this video, then give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and please look out for the next match video, which will be from the game next weekend at Broadwood, Hamilton Academical versus Kelty Hearts. Until then, I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next week.